Okay, here we go. Win the Day live stream Thursday edition. Today I want to talk about, I didn't take a listing yesterday. Did I lose it? I didn't lose it. Well, I don't know. Depends on definitions, I suppose. I didn't take a listing. I went on the listing appointment with this gal and I did everything, right? I pre-qualified.
I just got to say, I picture you as Will Ferrell losing it, going, what? I can't believe it. But anyway, so
no.
Sorry for the digression.
Yeah, no, nothing like that. I can lose it, often do. But no, not in this case. She went and met with her. It was cool. I knew there was other agents. I pre-qualified. If you're comfortable and confident, we can sell it at a price that makes sense. Will you list with me? Yes. Okay, good. All that, all of it. Went and met with her, talked it through, did it all. Are you comfortable and confident? Yes. But I can't sign. This very often happens down here because they're absentee. She just happened to be here. This is so rare that, I mean, I probably count on Mark's hand the number of meetings I've had in person with sellers. It's all absentee, so that might be a little foreign to y'all. But it was cool. She said, well, I have to go back and meet with my better half. Okay, cool. I'll get back with you. But yeah, this is great. I love what you said, blah, 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 all that stuff. So I'm feeling pretty good about it. Talked to her yesterday. She said, you know what? Love your blah, blah, blah. Love your program. Love this, love that, yada, 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 all this stuff. We're going with the other group. And well, she told me that first. We're going with the other group. Thank you for everything. We're going with the other group. I loved your blah, blah, blah. I loved everything, whatever. And most of what she was saying, I didn't even hear. All I heard was blah, 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 right? And here's the reason why. It was price, not the price of the property, price of the real estate commission. They gave a discounted price. She wanted me, then she wanted me to do the discounted price. Again, I don't even know if I saw the lips moving. It was just because I'm having this internal debate. All right, so I can get this listing, but I'm going to have to discount my rate. Let me see. I'm going through my mind. Not a great location. Outdated, needs a lot of work. Price point marginal. And I need to discount my rate to do that. Yeah, hold a second. No. Matter of fact, I wish you luck. Right? I wish you luck. I hope you do it. And I do. I hope they sell it. They'll probably, having said what I said, they'll probably sell in the first hour. It's probably already sold. Who knows? Probably not, though. One thing I know, it's hard to sell real estate right now. If you haven't figured this out, it's hard to sell real estate now. And it's really, really hard to sell outdated, bad location, overpriced real estate. So all that screams, you don't discount your rate. Now, I'm not saying you don't always not discount your rate. That makes sense? Because sometimes it makes sense to go low, right? Maybe it's a great property. It's going to sell really fast and the price is right and the motivation's there and boom, boom, boom. Yeah, that makes sense, right? You can do that. Maybe it's super special. It has something nothing else has. And I don't mean green shade carpet. It's really special and it's going to be recognized as special and people, it's a thing. You can build off that. Maybe it's a great location. You put up signs. It's like free advertising for other business. All those things. There's many reasons why you may want to take a listing at a discounted rate or take an overpriced listing, whatever. I don't care. It's the same thing, right? You're not getting paid either way. The difference though.
Yeah.
Right. The difference is when you do that, you're taking your focus off the stuff that pays. If you're not profitable, you can't bring in the same marketing. You're going to have to choose, right? At some point, you're not going to be able to afford to even be in business.
Yeah.
it's better to walk away from a bad deal than to do the bad deal because your ego says you got to win everything. And that's kind of where I'm at, right? I'm the kind of person where, oh yeah, I'll hold my beer. Let me show you, right? But you don't know how to ride a skateboard. Oh, well, watch this, right? It's just, and it goes bad, right? It can go bad. Now, and again, I'm not saying all the time you need to stick to your guns, because sometimes keep your guns in the holster or whatever, or pull them out or whatever. I don't know, whatever the metaphor is. But a bad deal is a bad deal. And if you can recognize a bad deal quickly, I mean, to be honest, guys, I have a ton of scripts, right? I'm a script guy that I could have fought that. And I'm just thinking, I don't want to fight. This is not a property you fight for. This is not. And, you know, if it expires or something changes, well, then maybe I'll go fight for it. But I am not going to. Yeah, I was in my head going, I don't even know if I want this listing. You want me to take it at a discounted rate?
Yeah.
Not happening. Sorry. Love you. Not happening. So here's my point of that whole little thing is, be a pro. All right. We talk about this. Know your value. Know the value of the property you're listing. Because when you take one and you're not paying a good rate to the buyer, that hurts the buyer agent. Hurts the buyer agent. Hurts you. Hurts the seller, because you don't sell it. And if in a declining market, they're going to get less. And I'm thinking, geez, look, Louise, you're going with a discounted broker over a tiny commission, which is teeny tiny in the overall thing. Because if you lose 5% of the purchase price to a price reduction or a wrong price, because you're trying to save some amount of commission from some listing agent, and the listing agent who would lower their commission on this thing, what? Yeah. So it was a bad position to be in. And fortunately, I said no. And it was easy at first. And I thought, oh God, let me go back. I bet I can talk him into a price reduction. No. And I was telling my wife, she's like, you did the right thing. Right? You did the right thing. So there you go. Thoughts?
Yeah. So I think what a lot of agents don't do is they don't think of a listing as you're buying into a business opportunity. You've got to look at that, because listings cost you money. You are investing on your front end for what purpose? To earn a profit. And you've got to look and say, am I going to be able to turn a profit? And yes, you're right. There's times when I may maneuver on, do less because the return is faster. There's a greater upside, what have you. But I think a lot of agents go, I just got to have the listing. Well, maybe, but you also need to look and say, do I want a billboard on a street that says I can't sell houses? You're looking and evaluating, both people are evaluating, is this business endeavor going to be profitable? And always keep that in the back of your mind.
We're in this to make money.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with that. We're in it to make money, because when you make money, you can pay a better photographer. You can pay a videographer. You can pay a copywriter. You can pay a closing coordinator. You can pay all these things that make it better and will sell faster, or for more money, or for a stager. Who knows all the things you can do when you're profitable. But when you're not profitable and you are left to you and your iPhone and Chat GPT,
so
that is not helpful for the seller. And if you won't tell them that, then shame on you, right? And if they won't see it for some lottery type of saving thing or a savings on a lottery you haven't won, or whatever I'm trying to say here, that it's bad for the buyer. Like I said, buyer agent, and all you're going to get is a recycled listing.
Yeah.
I think it also shows how they're going to behave during the transaction. Is that somebody you really want to be in with, somebody that's constantly asking you to discount your rate and aren't budging? I had to walk away from a transaction. I didn't want to pay the buyer's agent, and they wanted to discount it, and it wasn't a bad location. Yeah. Like you said, I had to pay with that. It just was not going to be a good for me in my business.
The buyer agent wants whatever they want. Yeah, no, I'm not going to pay that. All right. Awesome. Yeah, it was And it's weird because the seller was a sweet person. I enjoyed them, but they got their eye on the wrong prize.
Do you know what
And,
the solution to this is?
What's that?
You know what the solution to all this is?
Run.
More lead generation.
Yeah.
I mean, when you can say, all right, I've got to go to another appointment, then you've got some freedom in that because you're evaluating opportunities.
Yeah.
That's
Every minute you spend on a bad deal is a less time on a good deal or finding the next deal. Right?
Yeah.
No doubt about it. So what's the lesson here? Know your worth. Number one, right? How does this work? Know your worth. Number two, know the value of the property you're trying to list. Because that'll tell you this thing's a dog at the price you're talking about. This thing's a dog, right? You don't have to say that, but you got to know it. And if it's a dog of a listing, that means I'm gonna have to work harder to sell it, spend more money to sell it, and it's probably gonna take more time to sell it. And if I'm already thin, it's going to get thinner by the hour, right? So you got to know your worth. You got to know the worth of the property, pure and simple. And then you have to have the ability, and sometimes it's hard, especially if you don't have much, to walk away. You got to be able to walk away and know that in this case is the win. It's a win by subtraction.
Well, it reminds me of the old sage. You got to know when to hold them, when to fold them, when to walk away, and when to run. So,
but if you don't know your own worth, well, I'll just do it. And I'll use my cell phone. It's the only listing I have, so I'll do everything.
Well, I mean, John, think about this. I always talk to people about builders. And when a builder is building a subdivision, they don't start lowering their price because it sets a trend down. So if they sell this house and then they sell it for lower and lower and lower, the appraiser is going to ultimately look and say, well, we know that the value of your subdivision is going down. So builders don't discount themselves. They may add extra value, but they don't discount themselves. And I think you've got to think in the same way as a business builder is, what am I doing? Now, you may have a builder who builds a spot one-off property that can come off because they're not setting trajectory or pricing trends for a development. But it comes back to know your worth and be able to go from there.
So Rick online here says, I've walked away many times. The question to ask a seller regarding commission is, do you want an agent willing to pay? This is a script, right? Willing to do a pay cut even before they start to work negotiating for you, right? If they're willing to negotiate away their compensation, what are they going to do when it comes to negotiate your property, right? That's a good objection handler to that. So what I would say though, make sure you want the listing. Don't fight for a dog, right? And have them say, okay, fine.
Yeah.
It's got to be a good listing, right? So just know the value of the property there.
John, talk about, you mentioned something early on about pre-qualifying before you even go on the appointment. Talk about that a little bit more.
Okay. Yeah. Sabrina says you can afford to do what you have the time to do. Yeah, I like that. For sure. So here's the thing. Pre-qual. First of all, you should pre-qual. Mike Ferry says 100%. Here's the way, how does he say it? Pre-qual 100% of the time before you go on any appointment. And highlight that, bold it, underline. Pre-qual 100% of the time. Right?
John, do you wish that you had said, hey, look, who are all the decision makers? Let's tie him into the conversation as well. Do you wish you had done that?
100%. Right? And there are different, I did not play this thing 100%, right? I'm saying that the lesson in this of today is be able to walk away, understand your worth, understand the value of the property, and be able to walk away from a bad deal. That is the lesson of today. Yeah, there is another lesson where you should pre-qual and you should make sure everybody's there for sure. 100%. And you should pre-qual 100% of the time, all the time, every time. There's another lesson though, too. You can do everything right and still get the wrong outcome. And the other side is you can do everything wrong and still get the right outcome.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but give yourself the best chance all the way around. Linda says, I've been beating myself up for walking away from one recently for that exact reason. I'm happy to be in good company. Yeah, I'm telling you guys, it sucks at first, but then when you see that thing sitting out there, yeah, it's one thing to lose a listing that you thought, oh no, that's going to sell. Dang. It's another one to go, oh my gosh, I can't believe I lost that dog. So just keep that in mind. So the prequel, what was the question again, Destiny?
I was just asking, you talked about pre-qualing before you even go. I was always taught, the real appointment is the appointment before the appointment. What does that look like to you?
Yep. So exactly. And there's a whole pre-qual thing, but yes, Mark, you're right. You want to make sure all parties are there, right? All that stuff. And to be honest, on this case, I knew that they had another realtor, that I was the second one, but I would have got that dang listing if I would have gone low, but I don't want it. It wasn't worth fighting for. But let's go back to pre-qual. If what I say makes sense and you're comfortable and confident, we can sell it at a price that makes sense. Will you list it with me? Yes, I will. It's as simple as that, guys. If what I say makes sense and you're comfortable and confident, I can get a price that makes sense for you. Will you list it with me? Right? Pure and simple. Yes, at the end of the listing presentation, are you comfortable and confident you can get the price you want? Yes. Good. And you said you would list it with me. If that was the case, let's go ahead and move forward. Right? All that occurred. Those two components occurred. And then she said, well, I need to talk to my better half and all that. All right, fair enough.
But so, I think that's an important question, because the people that, I'm not going to make any decision for 6 months. All right. You may or may not go on that appointment.
Yeah.
But you know what you're going in for.
100%. And that's fine. That's a different conversation. But back to this, I guess I'm just going to pound on it over and over again. Know your worth, know the worth of the property, and be able to walk away. It's because when you take a discounted listing, you're using up your time, your money, your resources, yours, and you're taking a step towards unemployment by doing that. I promise you are, right? You're going to rely on luck to sell it at that point. Because even if you do a really great job and you sell it, the reward is going to be so slim. It's just, there's no room for error. And even if you don't have an error, there's just no room. It's not worth doing, right? And it also hurts your fellow brother and sister realtors, because it just jams up the system. And I'm not telling you how much you need to list for or what discounted. Maybe the discount in this case is 9% instead of 10. I don't know. Whatever, right? I'm not telling you what to price at. I'm just saying know your value. Simple as that. Sabrina says, OMG, Destiny. I was just thinking about this. What were you thinking? Hoping all newbie get the training before they ever calling to show my listings, right? Oh my, that's another topic we can go, go on about. Also, write verbiage in listing so newbies know. Can I read? What's my problem here? Newbies don't bring them unless pre-qualified by lender. What's that?
Yeah, so she's putting in there, must bring a pre-qualified lender, because some people will run with folks that aren't even pre-qualified.
Yep. This is all about knowing your worth, knowing your value. Don't go out with buyers that aren't pre-qualified. Don't do it. That's a waste of your time. It's a waste of the listing person's time. It's a waste of the seller's and the buyer's time. It's the same thing, just on the other side of the equation, right?
So, John, I think that it's important that people hear, when you say know your worth, you got to look at two ways. One is, look, your intrinsic worth, invaluable. You're God's beloved child. All right. That's intrinsic worth. Your marketplace worth is you've got to drive this not based on your feelings, because many people feel unworthy of an income. Real estate, you can make more than you've ever made. So for some people, that $10,000 check, gosh, I came from a career where I made $40,000 a year, and in one check, I'm making a fourth of my income. Look, you don't base your worth based on what you feel. If you're struggling with this, you sit down and you say, how much worth can I bring to the marketplace? So you don't lower to your feeling, you raise to your efforts. And so you start working on your scripts, you start working on your ability to price, you start working on your marketing abilities, all of those things, so that you raise purposefully and strategically the value that you bring, so that you can stand there and say, I know my worth because you've put in the work. That's an important piece here.
There is no doubt about it. But you also got to know what it costs you to be in business, right? What's it going to cost for the sign? What's it going to cost for the realtor or for the photography? What's it going to cost for all of it, right? Are you going to run ads? Are you going to do social media? There's a financial commitment there. Not only that, what is the cost to your mind? How much time? I think Destiny mentioned, what are they going to be like? Are they going to be all over you? Are they going to, take up all your time and energy? All this stuff. You start discounting in the front end. You have no room in the back end for anything.
Yeah.
And then, if everything goes great, what are you left with? I'm assuming you're going to have to pay a broker something. If you're on a team, you have to pay the team something. If you live in the United States, you're going to have to pay the government something. What's left when you take it all out?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what you got to know. It costs you. How much does it cost you to take a listing? Right.
Yeah. Because they're seeing 3% possibly. And you begin to go, all right, a third of it's going to the broker, a third of it's going to Uncle Sam. I'm going to end up with 1%.
Yeah.
Understand, I don't get to keep it all. And people will assume that you get to pocket it all.
Right.
But again, I'm not even talking about fighting for your commission. If it's a listing that doesn't deserve, you might take a dog if you're getting paid enough, but it's still a dog. Even if you get a 20% commission on a dog, it is still a dog. Remember that.
So John Jesse says, if the seller starts asking you to reduce your commission, would it make sense to ask them, which services would you like for me to eliminate to get your home sold?
There is a million objection handlers. Yes, that would make, yes, absolutely. There are a million objection handlers for this, and we can go through them. I'm not here and now today. I don't want to do that, but yes, if it's a listing worth fighting for, yes, 100%, you can bring up a lot of them. My point here is, I didn't even fight for the listing in this particular case because it was barely in the window of taking in the first place, right? And again, if the price is low enough where it's going to sell quickly, okay. Or if the property is special enough that it's going to sell, okay. If all that stuff is in place, okay. But a dog, at the end of the day, a dog is still a dog. And if they're fighting you on your commission and they're holding to and again, they didn't ask for a lower commission because they're going low on the price. No, that was not the case in this case. Right. Yeah. So yeah, I would have gotten a listing if I was willing to go to the thing. And even if I got her to the price, even then, now I got to convince myself that the price she's wanting to, you see where this is going, guys? Know your worth. Then the second thing is the value of the property, right? Just, okay, hey, I got a 20% listing on one that'll never sell in a million years. Well, good. You got your worth right. But you feel me on this? Am I crazy on this? So real quick, Becky says, thank you for this. I just had a potential 700K plus listing go another direction. We're going to go in another direction. I love that. I was really bummed at first, but I'm worth more than that. Thank you for the encouragement. Right. That's the message.
So Sabrina says, if you need the business, take it, no matter what, is how I think. That's her thought process.
Yeah, I think that's wrong.
I think.
Does anybody need bad business?
Go ahead.
I think a lot of newer agents, they run to whatever they can get, and you learn from those experiences. But to kind of piggyback off of what Jesse said, I've heard some realtors have like packages set up for 6%. This is this is what you get. For 5%, this is what you get, and so then that gives the seller the option. Okay, I want to do 5%, or I want to sell my house and I want you to do everything that you can to get my house sold. So this is what I'm willing to pay you.
Destiny, you had said, you used to say when somebody says, is your fee negotiable? You'd say, absolutely. It really depends on how difficult a client you are. I start at 7%. It may be. So,
and they loved it. They laugh and got the price that I wanted.
Let me go back to Sabrina here. If you need business, take it. Be careful here, right? Be careful here. If you need business, take it. Well, I don't know. Is a listing that's not going to sell because it's not priced right and it's a dog? Is that business? The only business that's occurring is you hiring a photographer, putting a sign up, entering it into wherever. That's the only business that's taken place at this point.
Yeah.
So is that really what you need? I don't know. I mean, if it's mentally like, okay, I have a listing, I got something.
So physics 101 is two objects can't occupy the same space at the same time. And it comes back to how much money am I putting in? How much time am I putting in? What is the effort putting in? Because I am expending something, which means I'm not expending it on something that may be more profitable. And
so
here
she says, if you need to pay the bills, yes, you're not paying any bills. You're adding to your bills. Am I reading that wrong?
No, I think that it comes back to new agents or broke agents is who I'm thinking about.
Broker.
So here's the thing is, if I take a listing, it starts off as a debit on my account. And if I can't
I'm negative. I go negative the second I take that listing. I'm going negative.
So that's where we've got to look at all listings as business opportunities. Can I turn a profit? If we can turn a profit all day long.
Without luck. Do I need luck or some magic to occur to make the?
Yeah. So go, Destiny.
I was going to say, I think you also have to think about big picture. And even if you get an offer on this house, it still has to go through appraisal. It's got to get inspected and pass inspection. It may not go through that. You may have to take the house off the market anyway. So you are taking on a debt before you're able to even pay your bills. That's how I look at it. And I
doesn't even include the time you're missing going to find somebody who says, you know what, I've got a great property. I'm willing to pay you what you want. And it's going to sell. You're going to miss that because you're busy taking out the garbage.
I do think that when you're new and you're hungry, don't turn your nose up at the buyer that may be at a different price point, because that money spends at Walmart. Go take that. It's not a big commission. Well, do you have bills? You got small bills, big bills. This will knock out some of your small bills. And at the same time, this is a business. You've got to evaluate. Two objects can't occupy the same space at the same time. To choose to do one thing is to choose not to do another thing. You've got to value, am I going to focus the same amount of effort on a $700,000 home as a $200,000 home? I would venture to say in our market, the expenditure to find a $200,000 home with 3 bedrooms, 2 bath on a 1 acre lot that will qualify for a loan is going to take you more time than the $700,000 home realistic. Okay.
Sabrina, here, maybe I can help you out with this. Yes, there are times you will take a discounted rate. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's that $2 million house or $1 million house. Maybe that's the time. Maybe. And the reason why I say maybe, if it's $1 million sale, okay, the word sale has to occur, first of all, right? $1 million listing is not $1 million sale. Two different things. Are we clear on that? And if $1 million listing, the actual value is $500,000, sale ain't going to be anywhere found in what you're doing. Now I get you. If you run into somebody who has $1 million listing that is really $1.1 million opportunity, yes, then you may choose to go low because the likelihood of that selling is quite high.
And
then
fast.
it would make sense. All right. 100%. But if it's a $500,000 property asking $1 million and they want you to take a low rate, no, that's when you run. But yeah,
Ron, you always say-
if it's located on a really busy corner or something, and you can put signs in the ground that says, look at me, and sell something else. Yeah, well, then maybe, right? But if it's in the woods where nobody's going to see, overpriced crap, and they want you to know that's what I'm talking about. Is that, am I?
Yeah, I think that's it. Destiny, you look like you're itching to say
Well,
something.
yeah, I was just going to say, and you also have to consider the fact that there are times where you have to reduce your commission in the midst of the transaction just to get
Sometimes.
the deal completed. So you've got to leave yourself that wiggle room on the front
To
end.
do the deal. Yes. If I do this, then it gets closed.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if I do this, all I got is more of this.
Mhm.
No. That's adding to your woes.
Yeah.
All right.
So she
we're gonna
agrees.
beat this horse.
We won her over. Yes. You have to look at the entire package, not just the money. Know your client, know the market. Can I sell it at this
You're
price?
taking a giant step towards going out of business, and I don't want that for you. I
Mhm.
want you to stay in business, right?
John, this is a hot topic. We got
It was.
definitely
This was
some
a
great.
conversation.
Thanks, Sabrina, for jumping in, and Jesse and John, all of you.
Absolutely.
This is great. Hey, we want to encourage y'all. Go over to the YouTube channel. Just look up John Moran, Win the Day, and make sure that you like, subscribe, hit the notifications, but also, most importantly, share with 10,000 friends, because I know you're a realtor. You have 10,000 friends. Share. We want this conversation to resonate out and ripple out, because it does make a difference.
It could change your career. Could change your career.
Can I add on to that?
Yeah.
Also, if there's topics that you want to see discussed here, share them, message John so that he can maybe bring those up and we can discuss them with you. We do love engaging with you guys. So thank you again for the comments and engaging with us. That's what we're looking for.
All right, guys, peace out. I'm going to work. I'm going to go find some overpriced listings I don't want. All right. I'll see you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.